Welcome back. What are you doing?
It's my box.
Oh,
Why? Did it sound like I was writing on the wall?
yeah, it's all you're doing something. You're not drawing on that, are you?
It's my box.
Andrea Yates, sitting in a Texas prison 24 days after drowning her 5 children. She is talking to Philip Resnick, a forensic psychiatrist searching for an answer to the question, why?
What were you trying to accomplish that? Why would you did take your children's lives?
Their innocent years, God would take loans.
That they're innocent years and God would take them off, which said
Be with them and
God would take them off to be in heaven. So it's me. All right. And if you had not taken their lives, what did you think would happen?
they would continue stumbling.
Where would they go? In hell.
Andrea Yates represents an incomprehensible breed of Phillips, a mother who takes the life of her own children. Psychiatrists group such crimes into several categories. Most common, according to some experts, the altruistic mother, one who feels she is helping her children by killing them. There is also spousal revenge, or Medea complex, a mother who feels out spite toward her spouse. The unwanted child, the woman who bears a child she simply no longer wants to care for. Acutely psychotic, a mother who suffers a psychotic episode with no comprehensive motive. And fatal maltreatment, such as battered child syndrome. The hope is that these neat categories might somehow help to explain the unthinkable. The truth, however, is that the smooth language of psychiatry often falls far short, and that the stain of a child's blood on the hands of a mother cuts against the grain of our intellect.
When someone violates this ultimate taboo, kills a child, it stirs very intense feelings, polarizes the community and the jury. And some feelings are, this one had to be very sexual feelings. And other feelings are, this is the ultimate betrayal.
In recent studies, almost half of the mothers who kill